Hi everyone, I'm Zan, your astrologer, and welcome to another timeless pick a card reading. Today's subject is divine guidance. So basically in this reading, I just asked the universe to give me any kind of guidance which might help you and your specific situation. And exactly because of this, I was kind of expecting all of the 5 piles to be totally different, to have totally different messages, and of course they should depict totally different kind of situations. But to my surprise, each of the 5 piles are somewhat very similar to each other. And this might be a kind of indirect confirmation that truly all of us and everything is so very connected and acting as one. Perhaps all of us are experiencing together the same karmic theme which has to kind of be activated in our lives, because one of the main subjects for each of the 5 piles is that we have set out on a journey which now should complete itself, or at least give us another sense of direction wherever we have to go to next. Because, in our own individual ways, we kind of closed all of the chapters, all doors left open to the past. So we kind of need something to give us a new sense of direction. For some people, perhaps where to begin next. For other people, how to complete that which is imperatively necessary for them to have in their lives. And for others still, perhaps, who it is that they have to meet next, their path to cross next. So this kind of turned out to be the main topic for all of the 5 piles. So I kind of hope that my channeling ability and talents won't fail me when I get to the interpretations, so that I can add a much greater detail for your specific situation. Now, after all of that being said, the instructions are the same as always. Just look at the 5 piles of cards for a couple of seconds, or as long as you need to, and then just choose a pile or perhaps more which strongly sparks up your intuitive sense, and then just jump to the interpretation. The timestamps for all of the 5 piles can be found in the description below and also in the comments of this video. Thank you so much for listening, and please enjoy the reading. For those of you who have chosen the first pile, your cards are the 2 of coins, the 8 of swords, and the 9 of coins reversed, with the wheel of fortune as resolution. Now for those of you who have chosen the first pile, this 2 of coins represents a really big karmic theme that has been playing out in your lives for quite a long time now, but the last 2 years perhaps, so 2020 and 2019, were really concentrated and important in this sense. And even though I am absolutely sure that this wasn't the only karmic theme that has been influencing your lives and the events that took place in the recent past, yet still, this was a really important part of it. Because basically this 2 of Pentacles is material progress, material change, material evolution. In other words, it has to do with your earthly material power that you possess. It's not just about money and wealth and finances on their own, but rather what you do with them and your own influence and power that you have over, let's say, the lives of other people, the collective, the local community, as in your earthly power, simply said. Now the astrological correspondent of this 2 of coins is Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. Now Jupiter is the planet of blessings, of course, which means that you are someone who is blessed in so very many different ways, but perhaps it is your multitude of talents, abilities, your intelligence, your understanding about the world and so very many faces and aspects of it, which makes your life much more complicated and has always been this way, despite your very best efforts. Well, look at it this way. The more perspective, perceptions, worldviews, outlooks on life that you have, the harder it is to keep everything in balance. And balance perhaps was the key word that you were missing all your life from a material perspective. This Two of Coins is a card which has a certain kind of duality to it. It is only prosperous, it is only harmonious, it is only basically working to your greatest advantage if you keep everything in balance. But when balance is not there, or there is some kind of excess, then either your material life is not really prospering, it's not really stable, or if your material life is absolutely fine, then it is your inner world which is not very stable, exactly because your passions, your talents, what it is that you desire to experience, to live, to invest your energy into, might not really resonate with what you have in your life. And basically this situation was always the same whenever you achieved some kind of material stability, even prosperity, even perhaps success in your career and a lot of doors being opened. Well, you weren't really happy inside. You felt that this wasn't really you, that you can't really live for your passions, for what you love to do, for your higher calling. But nevertheless, in the more distant past, you kind of gave the Caesar what the Caesar needed. So you did focus a lot on your career, on your skills and talents, but not really your innate ones, not that which makes you the most powerful and efficient, but rather those which you developed, those which you learned, those which you kind of, maybe you went to university or a higher education, or even to a course, a training. You really focused on your career, and those talents are results of your intelligence, of your adaptability, your profound understanding of any domain that you choose to study. So you're a really, really smart and intelligent person. So of course this makes you so very talented in many different things, many different domains. Like for example, if you're a really good people person, if you have this ability to understand people and get down to the same wavelength with them, well, you can imagine that can open for you an infinite number of domains where you can work or where you can take your career towards. But as I said, you tried that, and this Two of Coins is direct, as in its upright position. So you actually invested a lot of energy and did achieve some kind of success, progress, where things actually supported you and went your way, but you weren't happy, or something happened in your life which kind of showed you, or maybe it was just fate that terminated that way of life, so to speak. So you kind of were always guided to do whatever you love doing, whatever you're truly passionate about. And this Two of Coins also represents that your true passions, whatever it is that is your true talent, your true gift, one which you didn't learn and develop and pick up or anything like that, it was always yours. You just master it from within yourself. And this might be either something artistic, because Jupiter is basically just a principle, just a philosophy, a greater truth, which has to do with our higher thinking, which influences the earth element basically, so it's that powerful. And art, regardless of its form, its nature, its expression, is one of those things which can do that. For others, it might not be like 100% artistic, but might have to do with a hobby that you always felt so attracted to. Like, I'm not sure, these are just examples what I'm picking up. Maybe for some people, like crafting jewelry, which is talent, but you also need an imagination, a vision, and skill. For other people, it might be a futuristic kind of science, like digital design, digital drawing, digital whatever is susceptible to digitalization, so to speak. For others still, this can be like a really strong ability and talent to reach out to people, to inspire them, to guide them, to direct them as a advice giver or maybe a healer. But even if it's a healer, it's not like with energy, not purely with faith. It's more like maybe someone who combines this with massage or like a therapist, a counselor. So there is also study and a little bit of mastery involved in this. It's dual. It combines the soul and spiritual with something really practical. While for others still, it might not really be like a specific talent or hobby. It can just be a lifestyle that they feel natural for them, that they wish to live and have always done so. Maybe it has something to do with agriculture, growing plants, working hand in hand with Mother Nature to provide for someone. For others, it can even be research, study, writing your own book, creating your own system. But it doesn't really matter what it is specifically. You can just adapt this to your specific situation. What matters is that you have been guided for such a long time to go out and do it, try it, work with it, try to find maybe other people who can be a part of this. And perhaps it was in the last 2 years, as in 2019 and 2020, when you took this really seriously because something did end your old way of earning money or your old material stability. Maybe it was you who took a leap of faith, maybe something intervened and you lost out anyway. So either you chose this with pure faith and belief in yourself, or fate just guided you here because of some losses or something that truly shut down your old life, so to speak. And you have invested yet a lot of work, effort, maybe like true financial investments into whatever it is that you felt like doing, your passion, your hobby, what you love, what you envisaged for yourself. And ironically, maybe even your past studies, your past careers, everything that you have done in the past, which didn't make you very happy, but it made you so very experienced in different ways. So even your past experiences are true value in this present moment. Just that maybe right now you are experiencing some kind of blockage, depicted of course by the 8 of Swords. Now the 8 of Swords is when circumstances or maybe other people, legal issues, things which we cannot resolve immediately or they might not depend on us, are simply blocking us, keeping us chained, keeping us from doing what should come next, so to speak, from enacting our desires, from making an important step forward. So you might be experiencing some kind of blockages or basically a sabotage in the present moment, where that sabotage might not really have to do with you, but it's just things not aligning as quick or as ideally as you need them in the present moment. So you might be a little bit discouraged, you might be a little bit blindfolded because you don't know what to do next, you don't know what is going to happen next, as I said, many things don't depend on you. So you're waiting for things to fall into place, for things to change externally, to align in a much more ideal way, for you to finally be able to move. And where you want to go is pretty obvious. It is that 9 of coins reversed. Don't get me wrong, it is reversed in the present moment, but you very much like that to be in upright position, because the 9 of coins is Venus in Virgo, self-sufficiency, being proud of who you are, being proud of your work, being prosperous in your own life because of self-sufficiency, depending on no one but yourself, providing for yourself, taking care of yourself, being simply free in your life. Of course, it's not absolute freedom, it's freedom on your own terms, life on your terms, and naturally who belongs in your life is also your own decision. But of course, you can only have this freedom if, your material situation is prosperous and your work, your efforts, whatever you invest your energy and time into has to basically provide for you, support you, help you out. So right now, even though you have come a very long way in those past 2 years, true miracles have happened in your life, not materially speaking, but what you managed to produce, how you managed to surprise yourself with your skill, talent, how truly good that you were. You saw in a very practical, undeniable way how good you are. So of course you had all the faith and confidence in the world that you are doing this, that you are on the right path. You had very small successes, but a lot of them. So it was like a trail of breadcrumbs where, the breadcrumbs followed very tightly each other. It was one next to the other. So you didn't really feel that the universe was playing tricks on you or anything like that, but quite the opposite. You knew that you had to endure, you had to work, you had to stick to your path, to your decisions, to your choices, because that is the way forward. And of course, a lot of things supported you, but not sufficiently in order for you to live that 9 of coins. And that is your ultimate goal, that is your ultimate desire, that is the moment when you achieve that, when you're able to live like that, when you can say that you're truly living your own destiny, your own story, when you have accomplished that which was necessary to enable the kind of life for you that you work towards having and achieving. But with this 8 of swords and that 9 of coins reversed, right now you're really starting to worry, you're starting to overthink, you're starting to doubt and question yourself. Was your leap of faith the right thing to do? Or did you take actually a right path towards material fulfillment, basically? Because it's not really the money that matters here, but it's your happiness, it's you living your passion, because that is the kind of person who you are. No matter what you do, no matter whose advice you follow, even if a new career just falls in your lap and you're offered a lot of money, even if you're offered that 9 of coins, if it's not what you love doing, if it's not your soul's calling, then you know without a shadow of a doubt that the money and the comfort and the material ease is not gonna be enough to make you happy. You just cannot surrender your energy, your power, your effort, your time to anything or anyone which doesn't make you happy anymore. That was the past, and you have done that successfully, but you have also experienced how sad, how unsupported, how disconnected to yourself it makes you feel, so you don't want it anymore. The money is not worth it. That's why you rather choose living your dream, your passion, Even if the money is not, even if you have to struggle, even if you maybe have to live a much poorer, scarce life than before, you don't want to give up on what you love, and that's like a soul level decision that you made, and it's final, nothing can change that, and you kind of know that. But because you are so blocked in the present moment, and as I say, maybe it's paperwork blocking you, maybe it's some kind of external alignment not appearing when it should appear. And when I say should, well, your present moment situation kind of requires that. It's kind of urgent, that's why I'm saying it should. We don't know better than the divine intelligence. Naturally, we have to trust it, but we also have to trust the present, the wisdom in the present moment. If your life needs it, well, it's a need that somehow has to be fulfilled. So of course your mind is panicking. Of course you're starting to doubt everything. Of course you are questioning your past choices based on what you loved, your heart space basically. It's almost like a battle between your hope, your true faith in divine justice, fairness, of a benevolent universe, so to speak, and the rationality of your mind, which shows you that, hold on, if something doesn't happen soon, something truly helpful, may that be a communication, an offer, or anything to give you the means to at least progress towards that 9 of coins, whenever that may complete itself. All you want to do is work towards it, and your work to kind of reward you so you can build up that 9 of coins. So if something doesn't happen soon, you'll have a major setback. Of course, it won't be the end of the world, but that 2 of coins is gonna be reversed, so it's blocked. And that is what you truly fear. That 2 of coins must not be blocked or in reverse, because you have done so much. You are still doing, working in the present moment. All you need is that opportunity or that chance. And what the divine would like you to know, the guidance in this is very simple. You haven't worked in vain. All your efforts, everything that you have done, inner work and closing the distant past, understanding the past as it was, that you were never a failure, you just weren't happy with what you were doing. And the reason why you were guided back then in the distant past to pursue a career or talents or to learn, to go to uni, whatever that was for you to not regret this moment in time, the present moment when you chose to live for your passions. So basically, in the past you were guided to pursue that career so that you can witness and observe yourself how good you are, that you are a team player. You can always choose that, you can accomplish that. You're not less talented, less intelligent, less competent than other people. You have everything you need in order to be successful, just that you are a person who is steered, dominated, guided by the heart, by love, by passion. So if that didn't make you happy, have absolutely no regrets, because you saw that you were competent enough. It's just a question of the heart. If that is not what you love, the wise choice is always to listen to your heart and your feelings, because ultimately karma, especially our karmic path forward, our life path, is always in the heart and never really in the mind. So you have made the right choice, and don't worry. Nothing that you have done is gonna be wasted whatsoever, because the resolution is the wheel of fortune. Your destiny will turn. The great wheel in the sky, symbolically speaking, is definitely turning for you. Your luck is changing. Something which is meant to offer you the ideal opportunity which you so much need and seek is definitely coming. But exactly when? Perhaps not even the universe can tell you, because the universe and the divine intelligence might have every intent to be quick, to help you whenever it is that you need it the most. But do not forget that a lot of things are also happening in external reality, with the collective, with the world. Our species as a unity also has its own specific karma, and sometimes external events do delay a person's individual karma, but it is coming. It won't take a very long time. Even if you don't have all the answers right now, don't worry, because you can truly trust the universe. Even if it's a little bit tiny late, it will definitely not disappoint you. The fated event, that good fortune, or whatever this Wheel of Fortune has to depict, that karmic fated event. The Wheel of Fortune, by the way, is Jupiter, planet of good fortune. So it has so much to do with this Two of Coins, Jupiter in Capricorn, because you worked for it. But Jupiter in Capricorn is always delayed because it's not in the best position in the sky. It is debilitated. It is in detriment. So first we have to work for it. First we have to learn responsibility, spirit of duty, how to be diligent, wise, etc. All of those karmic lessons. And it only gives us what we need after we pass all of these exams. You have passed the exams with great success. You might not even know this in the present moment because your fears are blocking out just how well you did, this sense of pride. But don't fear the change, the good luck, the fated event, fated connection, whatever this Wheel of Fortune is coming in your life, and it's in upright position. So it is the cogs, the divine mechanism, so to speak. The quantum universe is definitely at work, turning, connecting. You will get what you need soon. But if there is a delay, if it comes just a tiny bit late, don't be upset. Don't lose hope, because it's still coming. You know, there is a saying, at least in my culture, that the universe is never ever gonna stay in anyone's debt. So the universe always rewards its own way. It will never disappoint, and this is exactly your case, your scenario. Even if your mind is full of fears right now, don't worry. At least let your soul have this security, this comfort, as in take comfort in your faith, because it won't let you down. For those of you who have chosen the second pile, your cards are the Chariot reversed, the Hermit, the Page of Cups, and as a resolution, the Nine of Cups. The situation that these cards depict speak about, on one hand, the distant past, going back perhaps until childhood, but they also speak about the recent past, perhaps just last year. But the whole story begins in your childhood, actually, where it might be the case that you have always felt that you simply don't resonate with anyone in your surrounding. The Chariot reversed can mean that this not feeling that you belong where you were born can manifest itself as intensely as simply feeling like a total alien, like a total stranger, outsider, outstander in every single area of your life. So basically your childhood and your distant past was more like you kind of pretending to be as normal as, like others as possible, but inside of you kind of knew that you weren't. Now this part doesn't have to be as intense for everyone equally. Some people might just have had these feelings in a rather superficial way, where it didn't really have that much of an impact, only a psychological soul level impact, where they just couldn't really fit in and trust other people. They couldn't develop very, close personal relationships where they were able to let other people in that closely, that deeply into their hearts, while for other people it was really severe in the sense that this was just a feeling that kind of dominated their everyday. It was like day and night, even in your dreams. So all what you wanted when you were a child is just find yourself, to find out who you are, why things are like this in your life, and ultimately where it is that you truly belong to. But this chariot has also another quality to it. It is very chameleon-like. It can blend in, it can fit in. It has like the highest level of emotional intelligence, which allows the person to figure out how other people are feeling, what they want to see, what they don't want to see, what they can accept and what they can't instantly. So of course, your journey was kind of smooth because no one knew this. No one knew how you truly felt. But looking from the outside, no one would have observed that you are really struggling deep within yourself to figure out who you are, what you are, why you're not like other people, why you don't fit into the customs and traditions of your culture, country, society, local community, etc. Why nothing really resonates with anything inside of you. And also the chariot reverse also represent that you came into this life with a self-sacrificial karma. So when you were young, in your childhood, even teenage years, even as a young adult, you kind of had to serve other people regardless of how you felt deep inside. And this was one of the reasons why you were so different, why you were the outsider, the alien, because by not being immersed, you could see things so very objectively. You could see the truth in other people's situations and lives, which made it that much easier for you to know how to help them, how to advantage them, support them, and maybe for a lot of people it was your families who needed this help, perhaps parents, siblings, or you might have had a really tough family life, so one way or another you still helped, while others still go beyond this in the sense that maybe you have chosen a kind of job or study or your path in life where you kind of work with other people, support them, counsel them, help them, maybe medical profession, anything that has to do with helping others in any way, shape or form. It doesn't really matter the specifics. Even if it's just like hairdresser or like a cashier or anything where you kind of have to service or help other people. So this is where your past was really heavy, because it kind of worn you out to the very core of your soul. It wasn't enough that you had to fulfill all those karmic contracts, where you just met other people who needed your help, who needed to have you in a specific moment in their lives to reflect back at them the truth, or to reveal to them their shadow toxicity. Some of you might have even had partners like these, as in lovers, or in a partnership, or work colleagues, or whatever. Your lives were full of people who kind of needed you for one karmic reason or the other, and that really consumed you, it tired you, and you had no source of soul nourishment because you never felt that you truly belong somewhere, even when someone or some collective or even a dream, an idea, something you might have seen, a group on the internet, for example, resonated, and it felt like those are your people, or that's your subject, that's your lifestyle, etc. Well, it still was more like a fantasy because you could never truly live it, embody it, do it, belong where you had to belong. So up until this moment, your life was a massive journey to just close the past, fulfill your service to others, and just have that moment in your destiny where the past is closed and you are a free man or woman, a free person, a free being who can now just start living its life, its future. And it wasn't really divine punishment because, your chariot is reversed, so it was hard to get here. It was full of pain. It was full of setbacks. It was full of fate not supporting you when you needed it the most. But, you just had to fulfill certain things. You have been tired for a very long time. You were also desperate to find someone who is like you, or a group of people, not necessarily romantically or in love, but in anything. So you had this very strong desperation, and that's why fate couldn't help you as intensely, as ideally as you deserved it. You never basically got the help and support from either a person, people, family, not even from the universe and the divine that you deserved. So basically, the universe kind of owes you right now. But you feel so very lost and alone. Life doesn't make sense. You feel like your chariot has reached a total stop, like it crashed. It's totally irreversibly in standstill, and you don't know what to make of your life and your fate right now. Because last year was very important, because you almost achieved breakthrough. Things really started aligning for you. Maybe materially in your job, in your career, good things happened. A lot of people started supporting you, seeing you for who you are. You might have started to find people who you truly resonate with, who you really are on the same page, who you have a lot of things in common with. So you got excited, you started really, really believing that your time has come. And from now on, it's you living your life, living your dream, living your freedom, giving yourself everything that you deserve, healing yourself as well as you healed others, doing for yourself whatever you have done for other people. So basically, it's not just the universe that is indebted to you, but you are also to yourself, because you are the carer, the nurturer, the guardian of your own being. So, you finally found the wisdom to stop sacrificing, to stop giving, to stop playing the game by the rules of others, and you really focused on yourself. And, the hermit is, of course, loneliness, but it's also sacred solitude when you truly embodied that page of cups where you have everything that you could possibly need inside of you. And this isn't just a dream of wishful thinking. Life has proven to you in last year, perhaps, that you truly have absolutely everything, every virtue, intelligence, goodwill, purity, innocence, everything that you could possibly wish for, psychologically, spiritually, maybe a strong artistic sense or something that makes you truly unique in a material sense as well. Material sense as who you are in material life. Something is very unique about you. So this is where being an alien all your life is kind of having to reward you now. This is where it turns into your jackpot. But perhaps in February, in the beginning of this year, that all that progress, the miracle, the strong sensation that truly life is leading you to, being happy, has stopped, and you're starting to question where and why. Nothing makes sense in the present moment, at least not in the way that it did all of last year. So the universe is telling you that just how you pop up in the lives of other people, just take a look in your past, how you got connected to the most relevant people who you had to help in your life. You appeared in their stories and their lives like a miracle. It was always fated. It was always some kind of coincidence coming out of the blue. So of course, for you personally, that is how your solution is gonna appear as well. And this Page of Cups does suggest that someone will make you an offer, and that will open the doors for you in order for you to find your place in the world. For some, this may mean love. For others, it may mean a community. For others, perhaps work or a community or collective. Whatever this means, it is definitely on its way. But it has to be like you. It has to fit into your life story. So it has to come as an unexpected event, as a big shocking surprise, as a fated moment. And the universe is telling you that before that event takes place in your life, the only sign that you're gonna receive is that you're really going to be embodying this Nine of Cups energy, truly being grateful for all the virtues, for all the emotional, spiritual, psychological fortitude and prosperity that you have in your life. You'll just gonna simply wake up one day and be more happy than you ever been before, for the simple fact that you're alive and here, and that will be the sign telling you that something is coming and something is entering in your life, something that's gonna open that door for you, that single door which you have been seeking all your life. So months of happiness await you. For those of you who have chosen the third pile, your cards are the Empress, the Three of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and as a resolution, the Ten of Cups. Now, first of all, this combination of cards represents the very recent past and the future, because the distant past, whatever happened in your karmic journey to get here, to get where you are now, well, that is the life story, symbolically speaking, of course, of a different person. You might have had something happen in your life which triggered a kind of death and rebirth, who you were in the past, how your life was, how your karma was, had to symbolically die, had to be destroyed, eliminated, closed for good, and how your life is and who you are after that moment, well, that is almost like a new dimension, a different chapter. Now, this Empress, without a doubt, represents that even in your distant past and in the present and in the future as well, you are someone with a very strong psychological power. It doesn't mean that you're tough or that you're not vulnerable. Quite the contrary, you're extremely sophisticated, which makes you vulnerable, which makes you have more needs than perhaps an average person, but your power is like phenomenal. You have a very strong ability to influence the mood, the states, even the destinies of other people, of whoever you're connected to. You have a very, very strong influence. In the distant past, of course, this didn't play out always in the best ways. Sometimes you became a sacrifice, sometimes you became the negative person, the not so positive influencer, so to speak, and sometimes it really, really hurt you because you were always full of good intent. But simply said, you were always blind to just how powerful you are, how much inner strength you have inside of you, the power of your soul and your own magnetism. You are an extremely magnetic person, psychologically, but even physically. Something is really unique about you. But all your life you were really blind to this. And of course you kind of used this, but very superficially, because you just couldn't believe that you were who you felt you were, if this makes sense. At least your power level or your influence, the power of your emotions, they actually have the ability to influence fate, physical reality. indirectly through other people, yes, but still that is one of the greatest powers that a human being could possess. And this is why you had to basically let the past and who you were die, because that was like you being in school. All of the bad things, the catastrophes, failures, disasters, other people not seeing you for who you truly were, as in your good intent, only seeing your power, your magnetism, fearing you or being obsessed with you, especially partners, suffocating you, being so attached to you that they couldn't go without you. This always ended in some kind of complications, unfavorable twists of events, you having to disconnect and isolate yourself, etc. And that left you incredibly wounded, because perhaps one of the first people in your life who didn't quite get how powerful you were and how different you were was your mom. Or a mother figure who really tried to give you advices and to give you an upbringing, but she couldn't really get just how special you were. So that's why her tactics and motherly good intent didn't really work, because she couldn't see that it wasn't really rationality, logic, and her supporting your intelligence, which was the key to success, but rather emotional, strong emotional support. Teaching you how to confide in yourself, to trust yourself, to value yourself. She might have taught you the total opposite, how to be responsible, diligent, rational, logical, how to be anchored in reality, etc. And that kind of confused you, and it didn't bring out the very best in you. But it doesn't matter, because that person died and you are now reborn as someone who truly learned lessons about self-esteem, self-worth. The universe has taken off your blindfold through a series of karmic events where your true power and influence, your true level of attraction was revealed. So it held the mirror in front of you, sometimes in a really positive, in a really almost blissful manner, where other people were blessed by having you in their lives, or having to deal with you, or you helping them, or anything, any kind of connection. But also in a negative way, where the universe sent people who were just like you, blind to their own greatness, their own power, and you saw them making mistakes, you saw them acting out of low self-worth, the need to be needed, etc., and how not well their lives were because of that, and it was actually you who advised them to change this, etc. And the irony of this situation is that you needed the very same advices you gave to other people to apply in your own life, but you are already there. As I said, you have been reborn, you are not doing the same bad patterns and in the past, and you genuinely value yourself. You are no longer blind to your uniqueness, your own personal power and your magnetism. Because don't get me wrong, you were always an extremely intelligent and wise person, like truly wise, yet still none of your knowledge, none of your perhaps power over psychology. Maybe you studied psychology officially or on your own terms, or it can be just simple life experience. You can figure out people very quickly, in a second, in an instant. Yet none of that actually helped you personally to see just how good you are, how powerful, how magnetic, how attractive you are. You were always blind. And only after you started believing in yourself did your life and everything in it, past, present, future, take a totally different turn. Almost like you stepped into a total new dimension for you personally, where the past can just be the past. It's not real, it's just a memory. It was you learning to master yourself, and that's it. It can be closed. And the future awaits you, where you have to not just take care of yourself, not just give you everything you need to be happy, because one of your greatest lessons in this life is that being prosperous, being happy, being simply okay with your life, with what you're living, what you're doing, whatever your heart desires, that is truth, that is happiness. You are worth it, and you don't have to feel guilty. Other people might not have the same blessings as you, but it's absolutely okay to be happy with who you are and what you have in your life. Just because other people are miserable with their choices, with their karmas, well, you choosing to be miserable, you choosing to take on their pain will not make anyone's life better. So you know you had to stop feeling guilty for how blessed you are. And also, what you're going to be doing with this power is to be a positive change in the lives of others. Perhaps someone who shares their experiences, writes a book, journals, creates a blog, or simply tries to help people be happy, to teach them all the lessons that you have learned and went through in a rather hard way. So you might be wanting to share everything that you learned, everything, how you managed to embody your power, to use your power, to create the life you want, to live with your power, your magnetism, your blessings, your inner strength. So maybe you want to be a positive influence in the world by sharing your know-how, your techniques, your coping skills, how you achieve to basically embody happiness, content, being in harmony with everything, with the universe. And being in harmony is a choice, but that choice can only be taken if you truly appreciate who you are and just know your own strength, and also know that a part of your true potential cannot, come to the surface from your unconscious, from your soul at the snap of a finger. A part of it will never ever manifest in this life because that would make you a god. And another part which is possible, but that is a matter of work, of mastery, and permanent self-discipline and self-love, nourishing yourself. And because you have all these lessons, all this wisdom, and also you have a lot of people in your life who look up to you, all you need right now is some kind of fated event, that wheel of fortune, which connects you to something. I'm not sure if this is like a job or an opportunity or a totally new way of doing this, something which is visionary, futuristic, something that you are just co-creating in the present moment, in order, of course, to teach people, because this wheel of fortune is Jupiter, philosophy, faith, how to empower yourself with your higher thinking, basically. But Jupiter is also very futuristic energy. It is creating something which is going to be a key method, but in the future, something which doesn't exist 100% in its final version yet. So you are part of something that is being co-created. So that's why you're still waiting for that opportunity, that wheel of fortune to arise on your horizon, so to speak. And it is coming, but because you're co-creating it, either expressively, as in you know that this is what's going on, or passively, that you have no idea that other people or the universe is co-creating something and you're part of that indirectly. Either way, well, it's still a work in progress, and you cannot anticipate 100% when that connection, when that opportunity, when that door that you've been waiting for to express your true power, to truly shine, to use your maximum potential, you don't know when that is going to enter your life. But what you do know is that a lot of things already showed up, and you know deep inside yourself that you have some valuable connections already, that you have a plan, that you have a visage of your future. You know deep inside of you what you want to do. You have the guidance. And as resolution, this Ten of Cups, well, karma needs to play out in your life. It needs to complete itself in order to get you to where you need to be. And karma, when I say karma, this is not really your own karma. This is the karma of other people who you need to find still. Well, this person, if you're single, well, this is definitely your future life partner. If you are in an established bond already, then it is your partner, your life partner, having to basically make a personal quantum leap, a personal upgrade, if that makes sense, but one which doesn't really depend on you. Even if you want to help them, it is not something you can help with. Or if you're married and have children, well, maybe it's your children who need to get into a safe position in their lives where you don't have to worry about them, where you just know that your children are doing their things, they're okay, and you can just dedicate your energy to your life and your mission. And if you are in an established bond, well, maybe having your first child is gonna be something that truly opens up the door for both of you as a couple. This Ten of Cups, well, it is emotional fulfillment, but not just your own. It is like two destinies, or maybe a lot of destinies coming together in harmony. So if you're single, it is you meeting that special someone who has been prepared to do the same kind of thing that you have, and your union is gonna just be a destiny opener for both of you. But if you're in an established bond, well, you have to wait for your partner to get ready, or your children to get ready, or it can be a relocation, getting a new house, or moving to a place where both of you have always really wanted to live, dreamed of living, maybe in a specific region surrounded by nature. Maybe it is the sea, the seaside, or next to a body of water, a place which kind of feeds you each and every day just by simply looking at it. Not to mention actually being there and breathing that air. So it all depends on this specific alignment. But this is where the universe is so confident that you're getting there, that everything is following its course, that the only guidance it gives you, just wait for it, because it's definitely part of your destiny, part of your journey. You cannot evade it, you cannot make a mistake, you cannot make a wrong choice, you cannot miss out on this opportunity, because it's part of your destiny, part of your life. And you know, the past died, so the future is very straightforward. You cannot go wrong, because everything that might have went wrong, well, that already died. So no further guidance is needed other than to just trust everything that happened in your life until this present moment, because all of it, and it's really tumultuous, well, it happened for a reason. You always were able to see the big picture, so you kind of know where you're going. All you need to do is trust and stay on your path. Stay within your own wisdom, because your future simply cannot be anything else but what was promised to you when you broke off from the past, from that person who you used to be. There were moments when you were actually caught between the past and the future, when you were really in danger. You had all of the reasons to worry back then, but now, who you are now, and the work that you have done, the person who you are today, right now, really has nothing to worry about, because it's already part of your future. For those of you who have chosen the fourth pile, your cards are the Hangman, the Hermit reversed, the Two of Coins, and the Two of Swords as a resolution. Now the hangman and the hermit reversed do speak about the past, specifically the hangman the past 3 years, starting from 2018, when your life really took an unexpected turn. Now this hangman is the dark night of the soul. It is when you're totally blocked from the external world, when you live within yourself. But when I say live within yourself, it's not just the pleasant sides of that, but also a lot of pain. You know exactly when a caterpillar reaches maturity and starts weaving the cocoon, starts creating its temporary home, so to speak. Well, after it's in the cocoon, it's going to digest its old body. It breaks up everything which it was and forms a totally new body, a totally new identity, a totally new way of existence, where one was bound to the earth, bound to customs, traditions, the laws of matter and material life, society, etc. But the butterfly is different. The butterfly has a different menu, so to speak. It consumes the nectar of flowers, basically. And by doing so, it makes all of nature more fertile. It promotes new life. And also, it is a being associated with the air. Freedom, thought, reaching the sky, overcoming limits, and freedom, of course. So even at the moment when everything was painful, when nothing made that much sense rationally, you kind of knew that you are changing, you're transforming, that you're actually heading towards your ultimate freedom. But still, the dark night of the soul is what it is. It's for every single person a unique experience. It goes hand in hand with illusions, depression, anxiety, tricks of the mind and tricks of the psyche, unconscious things arising from childhood traumas, hurts, pains, identity crisis. For some, it might have went as far as seriously considering suicide or ending your life. But fortunately, you have that hermit reversed. So your inner light never ever went out. And it just guided you. You survived. And in the present moment, you might already be out of the cocoon, but you cannot fly yet. Your wings are not hardened yet. They're still very, very soft. And that is why right now you might be in a very strange place, because you're away from the drama. You're not victimizing yourself. The dark night of the soul has ended, but you're not out of isolation just yet. Even though you have the plans for the future, the hermit reversed is when the hermit is no longer seeking something. In upright position, well, it does mean knowledge, wisdom, know-how, doing things, setting on your personal journey, but you're still seeking it. It's a massive work in progress. The hermit is still looking and seeking a stability, seeking knowledge, information, trying to integrate it. But when the hermit is in a reverse position, that means that he found it, he knows what he needs to do, he has developed the methodology, the coping, he has the plan. Yes, he is still in sacred solitude, but he knows that he has to be ready to step out of it whenever the time is right, whenever it is needed. And also in reverse position, the hermit is not excluding any kind of connection. So people who go to the hermit, seek out the hermit for his wisdom and knowledge, well, the hermit will not refuse them, because ultimately the hermit is also a teacher. And when he has something to teach as in he learned the lessons, everything is clear to him, then of course he'll offer guidance and the teaching. But all of this to be understood in a symbolic sense, whereas you teaching or you leaving solitude, you leaving isolation represents being back on track, being connected to life, to the flow. And also, the hangman speaks about that the dark night of the soul severely affected your material situation, your social status, your place in society. And this 2 of coins represents your work, your progress, your efforts basically to get back on track. For stability, for harmony, for balance, especially in a material sense, to return to your life. The Hermit reversed, it is Virgo, so there is a lot of plans, a lot of projects, a lot of things that you already know you want to do, you want to be part of. There is a lot of initiative. You just need the chance or, some kind of boost, some kind of help, some kind of perhaps good fortune to enable you to start slowly but surely doing them. And of course, your material life has to get back on track as well. The Hermit in reverse position is also a manifester, because when there is a plan, when there is a purpose, when there is some very strong inner truth, when your whole being is on fire, because truth is ultimately inner light and light is fire energy. So when you are living an inner passion, when your whole soul is screaming at you that you're ready, you want to do whatever it is that you want to do, you're ready to share, you're ready to shine, you're ready to work, you're ready to be part of your future plans, as in to live it and act it, well, that means that it has to manifest. That means that you have to live in a very physical, down-to-earth sense, whatever is inside of you, whatever your soul is ready and desires to accomplish. But perhaps this is where the universe is telling you that the reason why things are not so very straightforward yet, the reason why that big thing hasn't appeared in your life, because it's not gonna be like an opportunity just popping out of the sky all in one go, where one day you're still with your wings, symbolically speaking, very fragile, unable to fly, and tomorrow you're already soaring the air. That's not how it's gonna be. It's gonna be baby steps, the energy specific to this 2 of coins. When one has to learn to fly, as in hold balance, well, that is each step at a time, each experience at a time. So if you're waiting for a miracle solution, as in just something popping up, happening and fixing all your problems, well, obviously that's not how it's gonna be. But neither is it the way it used to be, especially when you were in the cocoon. Nothing happening, fate not moving an inch, no help anywhere. You're just stuck in the same old. It's almost like that cocoon is your prison. Fate did not intervene in any straightforward manner, as in to offer you any solution. Whenever fate intervened, it was for terminations, closures, perhaps divorce, perhaps people finally exiting your life, or certain lessons to be highlighted, learned, etc. But in a constructive way to give you a big help, well, it didn't really turn whatsoever. But you're already out of that. Things already started to take place. Things started aligning. A lot of steps were already made towards your future. You could create your plan. You had everything that you needed immediately in your life to enable you. Perhaps tools, perhaps money, perhaps help, perhaps support. Of course, not as much as prosperous as you would need it, as in to solve your situation for good. But you're already on track, And just because right now it's more quiet than usually, well, that doesn't mean that things stop. That doesn't mean that you're not progressing on your journey. That doesn't mean that symbolically you're not flying and or that your wings are broken. It just means that you're in a state of flow, and the flow sometimes is not as strong. The currents are not as fast, abundant, and prosperous. But of course, this changes. There are currents with much greater prosperity, chance, opportunity, which are yet to come. Being in a flow means that you are attuned basically to the flow. So whenever the flow is very, very strong and abundant, of course, that reflects in your life as well, with a multitude of connections, opportunities, money, income, resources. When the flow is a little bit, shy, as in it's not as strong, or maybe it goes to a lot of different directions, well, that also means that you will enter a period when things will start moving very slowly in your life as well. But that doesn't mean anything, because just think about it. We are in an Aquarian age, so the flow will just go very, very quickly from one state to another. So it's not like a waiting game. It's not like everything is blocked for years. So basically, everything that you will need will just enter your life. And this Two of Swords reverses resolution, which means you already know this. You already saw visions of your future and where life is taking you towards. So you are kind of aligned to everything. You don't need to worry about it. All you need to do is perhaps Two of Swords, some kind of paperwork, some kind of legal issues, perhaps a contract, perhaps something to give your mind a guarantee of stability, which is also coming. But after you sign a contract or something legal, official, take place in your life. So basically what I'm saying, this Two of Coins is depicted in a legal way. For example, a salary, a job, something legal which gives you a sense of groundedness, a sense of stability. You know that your material future is guaranteed by that contract, by law, by paperwork, by official institutions, for example. Then is the moment when you're actually able to fly. That is the moment when you can just take your life, take everything that you have in the direction of your own choosing. That means what liberty looks like from a material perspective, when you have that income, but you don't have to sacrifice your routines, your sovereign will, and where you want to invest your energy into for the sake of surviving. You will have an influx, a flow of material resources, more than enough to offer you a stable, grounded life. Of course, not overflowing with luxury and prosperity, but it does mean that everything that you truly need for stability and of course comfort, and to feel that you are powerful and can do a lot of things even materially. Like for example, if you have a need, you need something specific like a car or a new computer or something which is usually rather costly. If you can provide all of that for yourself without going out of your way, without sacrifices, without debt or anything like that, whenever it is that you need those things in your life, well, that is already comfort, stability, and groundedness. So whenever you will have like a contract or some kind of way which legally gives you this guarantee that your life is safe and stable, well, that is the moment when you already know that you can do anything you want, when you can enjoy your true material liberty, because as I said, whatever this income is, well, it doesn't depend on a fixed routine, it doesn't depend on other people or someone bossing you around or what you have to do with your time. It's almost like either freelancer or something from the distant past rewarding you like an inheritance, or maybe a passive source of income, or something which does provide you with everything that you need. Not luxury, not all the riches in the world, but more than a comfortable, stable, grounded, and healthy lifestyle where you are free in your life, and that is what matters the most. So it is definitely coming, and you already know that it's coming, just that your mind is awaiting for it to crystallize, to give you that guarantee. And that will appear in the form of either a document or something legally binding in your favor, of course, like a promise. For those of you who have chosen the 5th pile, your cards are the Strength, Death, 7 of Coins, and as a resolution, the Chariot reversed. Now this combination is really, really karmic, and it kind of shows that in the last 4 or 3 years, you guys have had a lot of karmic closures. It could have been like some of you terminating a karmic relationship. It can also be a divorce. It can also be a very strong friendship or some kind of alliance. So basically, up until that point, your lives were very interwoven and connected, mirrored basically with the lives of other people, those karmic connections. So basically, good and bad and all the challenges in life, but also the good things, were kind of shared. So if something happened, let's say to one of these people, if it's a partner, then obviously the partner. Of course, your life was affected by it as well. But the problem is that perhaps, you had this karmic contract or agreement with your partner, if it was a partner, but it can, as I say, be anyone who was a very important part of your life in the past, let's say 12 years, 10 years. But even when this karmic relationship began, you already knew in your heart of hearts that you weren't compatible, because even back then, you already greatly outgrown this person emotionally, as in maturity, as in life view, spirituality, and in so very many different ways. But of course, an agreement is an agreement, it had to happen. But they could only offer you a lot of bad karma, because they were very wounded people. This was something that you had in common. Maybe both you and their lives had a lot of past wounds, childhood and traumas, etc. So of course you understood each other and helped each other and everything like that. But because of this incompatibility, it turned into a torture where you didn't want to hurt yourselves, you didn't want to put salt on each other's wounds, but it just didn't work out in the end. So there was a lot of losses in your life. When this relationship terminated, everyone suffered. There were material losses, maybe a painful divorce. Like you felt like your strength just left you for good. You just felt like something inside of you, which up until that point gave you a lot of comfort, strength, power to do things in life, to live your life, just died irreversibly. But of course, for some people, this doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It can be them losing something very important from their lives, something they were strongly attached to, maybe a spiritual path, faith, the way they used to live their lives until that moment, something which guided them, or it could be a job, a career, something that gave them so much power and comfort. It could have been, for example, a place, a house, a country. They might have to terminate something which was stability in their lives until that point and start from scratch. And it was really hard. The separation, regardless if this is a person, money, house, whatever it is that you lost, that death card. Well, on one hand, this had to free you. This had to propose you to a life of greater freedom where you're no longer sharing other people's karma because your karma is clean. Your karma is deeply spiritual, almost magical, and you just couldn't live your story because of the other people's karma. So, it wasn't you got a lot of pain, you got a lot of hurt, you got a lot of bad things, and you felt so very heartbroken because it wasn't the result of your actions, it wasn't your karma, it wasn't your deeds, you didn't deserve any of that. Yet, you know what they say, the road to hell is paved with good intention. The universe offered you a lot of openings to leave in a much less traumatic manner, but that would have involved severely hurting that other person or letting certain people down, etc. And you chose to sacrifice your freedom for them until, fate intervened and said no more. And basically that is why it was so traumatic and painful for you, this ending. If it happened in 2017 or 2018, 2019, I'm not sure. But it was tough. It was really tough. Especially because you didn't deserve it. And you didn't really take any action to deserve that. You were always a rather inspirational figure in the lives of everyone. If it's a job, then in your lives of your colleagues. You've been greatly appreciated. If it's a relationship, this person really tried their very best. You just weren't compatible. So there's that part. And of course there's family as well. So you had to leave a lot of people who you sympathized, you truly cared about behind. And it was tough. But perhaps it's not the past and how it happened which matters. The future matters because you processed everything, you healed yourself, you snapped out of the doom and gloom, you accepted everything as it was, you accepted even fate giving you this gift in the form of the death card, so that loss, for some people it may have been physical loss, as in you lost a person physically, they passed on, so it is really something painful. But there was no other option. This was the only way towards your own karmic freedom. And you also know this. You processed it. You accepted it. You regenerated yourself. You're back on track. You're yourself, basically. You have your strength back. You have your uniqueness. It's almost like your soul returned into your body and you feel whole again. Yet, you might be asking yourself in this present moment what to do with yourself, what to do with your new life, what to do, where is the road leading you from this place where you are in the present moment. Okay, you're healed, okay, you processed it, okay, you have your strength back, you have your power back, you're also grateful, you're standing from a place of wisdom and understanding. But what to do next? You have your dreams and goals, and you're basically a very adaptable and versatile person, so you can do so very many things in the future. But the question is, where is this leading your soul? Because this is about your soul, your life path, your karma, what comes next. And you might have been asking the universe, and it even showed you signs that something is coming, something to mark the start of that new chapter, the next chapter. Because you're not someone who, like, decides on something and then you follow it through blindly. You always are a person who likes to ride the waves of the universe, who likes to be guided, who likes to do something specific in collaboration with the universe, with your soul, with whatever is needed in the present moment in the world, so to speak. So you're waiting for this, I don't even know this chance or this manifestation of the guidance to appear in your life. But the problem is, it's not strong enough. So you're feeling a little bit lost, you're feeling off track, you're feeling blocked in the sense that, okay, you have done all this massive work and lived through everything. Sometimes you even thought that you're not going to make it, and here you are and everything is okay. So where is this taking you next? You want to know at least what the next step is. But the universe is guiding you and advising you that the reason why it stopped right now is because you have to harvest something, 7 of coins, something from the past. Someone, or maybe karma in general, or the universe still owes you for something that you have done in the past. And what you have done is big. Like either you saved someone's life, you helped someone out when everyone else abandoned them, an act of charity, an act of kindness, something that you have done, a seed of intention that you have planted and it grew and it reached fruition. So the universe has to somehow deliver that in your life. What it is, where it might come from, is totally outside your awareness or even your mental capacity to anticipate it. You may feel that something has to still come from the past, but rationally, logically, in order to give it a shape or form, it just is beyond you. So don't even try to think about what it could be, because it will come as a surprise, but it will offer you something that you truly need in the present moment, either divine justice, or something material, or maybe something that you have worked for and never harvested the fruits of your labor. But anyway, before anything happens, that has to still enter your life, and it will very soon. Maybe in a week, maybe maximum until July, but it will enter your life. And when it does, well, then is the moment when your chariot is going to be reversed. But that is a really positive sign, because what it means is chariot is path in life, whatever we're doing, our journeys, our progress. And because right now your chariot is not really advancing anywhere, because you don't have the general sense of direction, well, the universe is gonna surprise you, and it's just gonna quantum leap you instantly to where you need to be in that present moment. And the thing is, it might not be in your awareness what that future is, where that is leading you. It's like a surprise. So the best attitude is just simply to stay open towards fate just completing itself, as in the karmic patterns to run on basically autopilot. So this means that don't worry, don't feel discouraged, don't dwell on it, that right now you don't even know what to do with your strength, what to do with your new life, what to do with your freedom, so to speak, because the universe is on it. And before anything, you have to receive something that is owed to you. Justice has to be done. This is something that you cannot abandon, you cannot simply say no to. This is something that you must harvest because it's divine justice. It belongs to you and you have to have it. And afterwards, your chariot will get reversed. It stops because you reach the destination. It is something that the universe is going to be doing for you, as in simply somehow quantum leaping you exactly where you can start this new life, where you can prosper, where you can grow, where you can spring your roots into. So the chariot, as in you relocating or traveling or trying and, working towards accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish, that will finally stop, be a thing of the past. Your next chapter is about growth, is about taking care of yourself, and, things being easy in your life. So this means that, the chariot is also triumph and victory and, you getting to where you want to be, achieving your purpose. So things are not gonna play out like that because the universe is simply going to facilitate that for you, make it quick, effortless, painless, in the sense that, the chariot needs ambition, it needs energy, it needs focus and all that. So it's not an easy work. Yes, triumph, but that triumph means that the charioteer will have to be extremely focused and hardworking, and that is what you don't need in your life right now. Neither in your life, neither in your karma. You have done that so many times. You have been a charioteer in so many different ways. So that has to be a thing of the past. You don't need that anymore. So things are definitely not gonna be linear. If this has something to do with material gains, money, material stability, or even things which might have to do with health, well, some kind of reward or whatever you need comes from the past, in the sense that it's basically a karmic harvest, the fruits of your labor, regardless of how that plays out. And as for your future, what to do next with yourself, with your life, etc., it's not gonna be a chariot moment, but rather it's gonna be something where you just grow, where you find your place. You don't need to travel as much. You don't need to worry about what you do, where you focus your energy, what new project, what the next is. It's rather gonna be where you just nourish, you plant, you are kind of permanently aligned to your purpose. So basically, if we compare this to a symbol, well, the chariot is like someone going to war in order to achieve triumph. But what you're gonna have is more like a gardener who has this beautiful garden and can do whatever they want with it. So they don't need to rush, they don't need to plan, they don't need any kind of triumph, because their lives are the triumph itself. So this is your chariot's final destination, the kind of life which supports you and helps you grow in every way, shape or form. And naturally, if this means finding a replacement of what you lost, then that is what it means. So this can be also a person, basically. But anyway, the universe is gonna make it easy for you, and that is what truly matters. Well, this concludes your reading. I do hope that you enjoyed it and you found it useful. Thank you, each and every one of you, for all your likes, your shares, your beautiful comments. If you'd like to support my work and my channel, please feel free to donate on the PayPal link in the description below, because this is basically my only source of income. And if my channel grows just a bit more, I can dedicate much more time to offer personal consultations. So that is really my immediate purpose now. Well, anyway, thank you so much for being here and listening. I wish everyone a magical and fantastic weekend, especially with the Sunday's full moon in Libra, super full moon in Libra coming up. It's gonna be a really magical and great time. Until next time, bye for now.